Hi, Terry Little again. Welcome to Terry Little Music. Today I'm going to answer a question that was given to me. And the question is, why do I have so much trouble hitting the high notes? That's everybody's thing. Why can't I hit the high notes? Why can't I hit the high notes? Here's the thing about high notes, and I want to explain that the reason why we're having trouble is there's an actual natural thing that happens. First, to explain why we're wired when we hit high notes, it only happens in nature, or in fight or flight. So basically, as soon as we go into that high register, we release a little bit of adrenaline. If any of you have seen martial arts or taken martial arts, you know, or you see getting the ha, the chi. When you do that scream or that yell, you actually do release a little bit of adrenaline. So what happens is, as singers, when we get into that higher register, it's hardwired to release some adrenaline, which is why, unfortunately, a lot of singers do a lot of damage to themselves or even do themselves in by using chemicals to achieve these states of being relaxed. So one of the biggest challenges is, and I find this has always been my biggest challenge as a vocalist, is to stay in a state of flow and to be relaxed when you're going for the high notes. So the first thing is, when you hit the high notes, you can't get what I call scary note syndrome. As soon as you think to yourself, here comes the high note, you're done, because the immediate biochemical wired response is fear. And as soon as you have that teeny itsy bitty little bit of fear in your voice, it's going to tighten up, which isn't going to get you that fluid high note that you're looking for. So the first thing you need to do is accept that and understand that you're going to want to push for those high notes. Now, high notes do take a little more focus and a little more, I'm going to say, compression from your diaphragm against your vocal cords. It also requires lifting or getting the proper resonance rather than forcing, while keeping your tongue relaxed. Unless you're doing a screamo or a fry, but even that requires some engagement of your tongue, but it still has to be loose. So those are the immediate challenges with hitting the high notes. The first thing to do is to find the actual high note on some type of physical instrument to match. My preference is keyboard. If you're a vocalist, you should have a keyboard. Use a keyboard on your iPad and find that high note. And then slightly just tap on it. Just a little tap. Just the tap. And every time you tap on it, you want to be a little more relaxed each time. And then you work your way from there. You can't just slam into the high note. First, you got to find the note where it's comfortable for your placement in your voice, and then you have to actually relax. And then, depending on the vowel shape, which we'll go into in a different video, you have to change the sound and the resonance. And depending on your voice or what you've written, or more likely whose voice you're trying to emulate, you have to compensate for that. And sometimes it takes a while to find the right tone, the right placement for your voice. So the biggest thing is to stay relaxed and to have confidence and to understand singing takes practice. You don't just bust out those high notes. Especially nowadays, a lot of the singers, as they mature, they can't hit the notes that they used to because the vocal cords, get older. Like, you don't see many 55-year-old Olympic sprinters. The cords thicken, they get older. I do believe that you can maintain. I am now, full disclosure, 47, and I actually have gained more notes over the past few years by improving my technique. So there are ways to do that. So I've hoped I've answered your question. So don't get scary note syndrome. You can sing most of the high notes, unless, of course, they're out of your range. And that's why you have trouble. You got to relax. You got to find the note. Then you have to relax while keeping the diaphragm and your soft palate lifted and engaged. So finally, in ending my little video, I would love to do a live Q&A. So I need to know what times would be good and what questions you would have answered. Maybe approaches to writing. How do you promote your video? If you're older, how do you get started in a band? How to start a band? Whatever, studio questions. How do I set up my guitar? What do I use for my guitar and my vocals? any questions, if I don't have them in the realm of my experience, I will search them out for you. So hope to see you on the page, and I look forward to seeing you soon. I will let you know when that live Q&A is going to happen. Thank you.